another fellow engineering graduate. He has 6 YouTube channels with thousands of learners joining the platform regularly and has also consistently held the #1 educator position on one of the most reputed online learning platforms. The founder of Apni Kaksha and Hustlersville. Please welcome Mr. Aman Dhatterwal.
सो हेलो एवरीवन, कैसे हैं आप सभी लोग?
Thank you so much,
तो
sir, for joining us today.
थैंक यू अच्छे हमारे वेलकम इंट्रोडक्शन के लिए। तो मुझे ये बता दिया जाए मेरे पास कितना समय है। तो 3.5 से 4 घंटे का यूजुअली एक सेमिनार होता है, पर आज लगता है मुझे 15-20 मिनट है, हाफ एन आवर है, 10 मिनट से कितना है आप बताएं, उतने में मैं फिर रखूँ।
Sir, I mean, you can just speak your heart out. We are all really excited to listen to.
नहीं, वो 4 घंटे ज़्यादा हो जाएगा।
Thank you,
तो
sir. Thank you for
ठीक है।
joining us today.
तो मैं एज्यूम कर रहा हूँ कि आप में से जितने भी बच्चे होंगी वो फर्स्ट ईयर सेकेंड ईयर स्टूडेंट्स हैं। और जब मैं फर्स्ट ईयर बच्चों की याद करता हूँ तो अपना 2015 याद आ जाता है मुझे कि कितनी ज़्यादा एक एनर्जी होती है। 12th का बच्चा बोर्ड एग्ज़ाम जेई के बाद कॉलेज में आता है, तो इसलिए यार अभी तक यूनिफॉर्म थी, अब जाके हम कलरफुल क्लोथ्स पहन सकते हैं और हमारी भी एक प्लेसमेंट होगी। एक छोटा सा गम भी होता है। तो कल परसों मैं बात कर रहा था अपने टीममेट्स के साथ, तो मैंने उनसे पूछा कि यार, और ये चीज़ मुझे बड़ा बाइट बैक करती है कि आप जितने भी सेमिनार्स देखोगे वो सोलोप्रेन्योरशिप या एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप या कॉलेज में कैसे एक्सेलरेट करें एज एन इंडिविजुअल इस रिगार्डिंग में होते हैं। और मैं अपने टीममेट से भी यही बात करता हूँ, तो वो कभी-कभी पूछते हैं क्या कह रहे हो? छोड़ दें हम अपना स्टार्ट कर लें? तो जितने भी मेरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में लोग काम करते हैं, तो खैर वो चीज़ भी हम डिस्कस कर रहे होंगे। हम सब जब छोटे थे सेकंड थर्ड क्लास के अंदर, तो मूवीज़ देखते थे हम, या कभी न्यूज़पेपर में, कभी किसी टीवी शो में ऐसे देख के सपना लेते थे कि यार एक दिन मैं भी कहीं का चीफ मिनिस्टर बनूँगा, मैं भी कहीं का प्राइम मिनिस्टर या ग्लोबल लेवल की एक कंपनी खोलूँगा। साउथ इंडिया अगर मूवी देखी है तो आपने, फिर आप कहोगे कि आहा! रजनीकांत, एक ब्लैक कलर की एसयूवी, उसके आगे 4 एसयूवी, उसके पीछे 4 एसयूवी और एक ग्रैंड एंट्री हो रही है। छोटा बच्चा ऐसे अपने आप को इमेजिन करता है। फिर हम बड़े होते हैं थोड़े, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th, 10th में आपको जेईई से इंट्रोड्यूस कराया जाता है और हमारा सारा फोकस हो जाता है एक कॉलेज के ऊपर, विच इज़ आईआईटी। और कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स का भी नहीं बताएँगे कि एनआईटीज़, ट्रिपल आईटीज़ या कोई भी और कॉलेज एग्ज़िस्ट करता है। तो मुझे अभी भी याद है हमारा जेईई का रिज़ल्ट आ गया था और मैं बड़ा दुखी, क्योंकि जो आईआईटी सोची वो मिली नहीं, एक नीचे की आईआईटी मिली, ब्रांच भी पसंद नहीं। तो किसी ने कहा आपका एनएसआईटी हो जाएगा, मैंने कहा ये क्या है? बोले दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी का पार्ट है। मैंने कहा डीयू थोड़ी ना जाना है, इंजीनियरिंग करनी थी। तो वो बोले नहीं, डीयू यूनिवर्सिटी का जस्ट पार्ट है, अपने आप में इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज है। समझ में आया कि अच्छा ठीक है, बाहर की भी एनआईटीज़, ट्रिपल आई, एक थोड़ा-सा गम रह जाता है। मेरे अपने काफ़ी बैचमेट्स के अंदर देखा, जिनको यूँ था कि यार हमें आईआईटी का टैग चाहिए, और मुझे लगता है 10 लाख में से मात्र 2-4 हज़ार बच्चे हैं जिन्हें शायद अपनी मनपसंद आईआईटी और ब्रांच मिल पाती है। बाकी सबका वो छोटा-सा दिल टूटता है 11th-12th में जो सपना आपने लिया होता है। फिर हम कॉलेज में एक आस के साथ आते हैं, यार कॉलेज का जब 4th ईयर आएगा ना, तब एक बढ़िया प्लेसमेंट होगी। और फिर हमारा टोटल गोल और सपना हो जाता है कि यार हमें एक अच्छी प्लेसमेंट तोड़नी है। और मैं आपको एक फैक्ट बताना चाहूँगा कि हाँ, मैं आपके कॉलेजेस वो आपको अपॉर्च्युनिटी दे रहे हैं, एंड आप इंडिया के टॉप 1% में आ जाओगे अगर आपका अपनी एज के हिसाब से, अगर आपका सैलरी ब्रैकेट वही 80,000 से 1,20,000 के बीच में होता है। सारी कंपनीज़ आपको यही दे रही होंगी, मतलब चाहे उनका सीटीसी 35 हो, पर जब आप इन हैंड कैश देखेंगे तो वही 80,000 टू 1,10,000, अच्छी से अच्छी प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी। कुछ एक्सेप्शंस हैं जो कि 2 लाख तक भी जाते हैं, पर वो 2-3 ही एक्सेप्शन हैं। मैं उस चीज़ के लिए नहीं आया हूँ, उसके लिए तो आपके पास ऑलरेडी ऑनलाइन रिसोर्सेज, आपका कॉलेज, आपके सीनियर्स हैं कि प्लेसमेंट के लिए कैसे पढ़नी है। एक लैंग्वेज कर ली, डीएस एल्गोरिदम कर लिए, यू कैन गो टू वन ऑफ आवर यूट्यूब चैनल, अपना कॉलेज, एनिमेटेड कोर्सेज हमने।
Sir, I will like you will be really glad to know. हम सब जब भी like I am in third year, but जब मैंने second year DSA algorithm सब पढ़े थे, अपनी कक्षा was my go-to platform. I remember. So
तो
moving ahead with
तो
introduction, our second panelist for tonight is on a mission to equip and empower students with skills that will get them industry ready. He has co-founded Career Kida, a platform that helps students gain profession-specific practical training and makes them employable. An eloquent speaker, he has inspired thousands of students in prominent Indian schools like the IITs, NMIMS, SRCP, and LSR. His thought provoking videos have touched the lives of more than 10 million viewers. Please welcome Mr. Deepak Parikh. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Storyteller, filmmaker, producer, brand manager. Our third panelist for tonight is an exemplary human being when it comes to giving shape to one's dreams. After completing her studies in management, she has worked with some of the biggest corporate names out there like Microsoft, Nokia, PepsiCo India, and Apple India. She doesn't believe in confining herself to the boundaries of a particular field and has gone on to produce her debut film, The Last Color, which was also featured on the eligibility list for Oscars 2020. Her recent initiative, Ek Desh, focuses on building a community to battle the COVID-19 pandemic. She is the brand evangelist. Please welcome Ms. Poonam Kaul. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me over. I'm really looking forward to the session. I guess I'm the oldest person around here, so please don't make me feel old.
We just need to be young at heart. That's it.
Absolutely, 100% agree.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Our fourth guest, let me just confirm. Namrata, can you please confirm if he's present in the meeting?
Avanti, he'll be joining in 5 to 10 minutes, so I think we can start.
Okay. So our fourth panelist for today began his career as a native advertising consultant and since then has built, led and worked across various sectors like digital health, edtech, CPG, DTC, SaaS and blockchain. He has also founded many organizations and is at present the CMO of Avalon Labs, an enterprise that incubates, invests, spearheads and partners with technology companies. A cyber psychology aficionado, please welcome Mr. Abhinav Arora. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
You're on mute.
Mute, sir. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Good to be here, guys. Sorry, I had another meeting run over.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
How are we doing?
On behalf of eCell and Vellore Institute of Technology, I extend a warm welcome to all our esteemed guests. At a time when India has become the primary attraction for foreign investments, and on the other hand, our government has started initiatives such as Startup India to support the Indian businesses too, we, as the future business leaders and entrepreneurs, need to discuss and analyze the situation to reap the maximum benefits. Today's panel comprises of four of the brightest minds in our industry. So without further ado, let's begin. Sir and ma'am, the first question that our team and all the audience members want to know is, in your journey, which is the biggest personal challenge that you had to overcome? I mean, sir, you can start, ma'am,
Okay,
in the conversation.
sure. I can start. I mean, maybe start with the. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me over. Like I said, guys, I always love talking to students. I love having these sessions, and I'm actually looking forward to some good discussions, some good questions coming up. Challenges. I mean, actually, I can't think of one single challenge that I kind of faced. I mean, we face challenges all the time, whether it's, when you're growing up, like I was born in Kashmir, and we had to leave in the middle of the night because my dad was on the hit list. And for us to, my parents had to start their life all over again with, in a different place. And remember, this is early 90s, where there were no ATMs, there were no phones, there were no, we just left Srinagar, which is where I was born, and we moved to Jammu. And I think starting all over again, and you know, most of the Kashmiris, in case you have any friends, are you know, it's a middle class community. 100% literacy is what we feel proud about. And I think when I think back, that was a tough time for all of us. But you know, at this time, I still get goosebumps when I think about what we've all went through. But then I think it made us all very resilient. It made us all very almost, I would say, to a large extent, at least I can talk about my family, my sister, a lot fearless. You know, willingness to pick up things because you know you had faced the worst, right? So I think starting from there, then you know I went through this whole thing about I couldn't take up admission anywhere outside the state because I was on a provisional certificate, and you know I remember getting admission in Jamnalal Bajaj, and I could not go because I had spent half of my graduation was. My first year was Kashmir University, and the rest was Jammu. So we weren't like we were like floating population. So I think all these things somewhere in the line, you know, at that time it's hard. At that time a challenge is hard. At that time when you're facing it, it's like, why does this happen to me? But I think we're all geared to overcome that. We're all geared inherently to, you know, look at challenges. I would say look at challenge in the eye and say, okay, come on. What's next? So I think so I would think like that, and you know, work challenges I think keep on happening. Every company has its own set of challenges. I don't think anything's been so that I can look back and say, oh my god, that was a huge one. I would keep it like that. I think just having that the attitude to say that, okay, this is not going to pull me down, I think that's what's important. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And that's a very important take-back value for all our audience members, that, you know, looking the challenges in the eye, because right now it's anyways the pandemic, and being third and fourth year students or first and second years, a lot of us are concerned about internships, placements, the opportunities.
Yeah, I think somewhere, you know, when you have, like, you're talking about the current challenges, I think one of the things that we're all learning is to adapt. Like, think about this year, the last few weeks, I have 2020 seemed like a trailer to what's happening today. I mean, I think 2020 was fantastic compared to what's happening in 2021. I'm sitting in Delhi. Delhi is burning at the moment. So I think, but it also gives you a lot of, I think, adaptability. That's something that challenges teach you. So I would leave it at that.
Sir, I mean, Mr. Dhatawal, sir, if you want to share something regarding the biggest challenge that you faced.
आई गेस द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज अभी बचा हुआ ही है, वी आर येट टू फेस इट, अभी तो आया नहीं है। और फिर भी आप चैलेंजेस पूछोगे तो जब तक अकेले भाग रहे थे तब तक तो मज़ा आ रहा था, पर जैसे ही आपकी टीम में कुछ लोग आप जुड़ना स्टार्ट करोगे तो आप में एक सॉर्ट ऑफ एनर्जी होती है अपने बेबी को लेके, बेबी मतलब अपने प्रोडक्ट को लेके, बाकी लोग सेम एनर्जी लगाएं, उनको उस हिसाब से मोटिवेट करना है इज़ द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज। मतलब अगर आप ऐसे अब तक
So that's very important. मतलब अभी बहुत लोग सोचते हैं स्टार्टअप्स के बारे में, बट उस चीज़ को किसी के साथ इन कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी शेयर करना इज़ ऑल्सो अ ह्यूज ट्रस्ट, आई थिंक।
कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी शेयर करना नहीं, मतलब जो आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में व्यक्ति काम कर रहे हैं वो भी उतने मोटिवेटेड हों, तो उसके लिए आपको काफ़ी चीज़ें सीखनी होती हैं। लाइक एज अ सोलोप्रेन्योर जब शुरुआत में कॉलेज के दौरान मैं सिर्फ रात को काम करता था, दिन में स्कूल में कॉलेज में जब जाते थे लास्ट बेंच पे जाके मैं सो जाता था। मेरे यूट्यूब पे वीडियो आई एम स्लीपिंग ऑन द लास्ट बेंच, वर्क इन द नाइट। बट व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग, जब बाकी सारे साथ आपके लोग होते हैं तब आपको पता चलता है सबको 10 बजे बुला रहे हैं तो आपका भी वहाँ पे 9 बजे होना ज़रूरी है। तो आप सारी चीज़ें अपनी बदलते हैं।
थैंक यू सर। Sir, Mr. Parikh, sir, please, if you want to share this challenge.
Yeah, sure. So firstly, thank you for having me, and good to meet my fellow panelists, albeit online. I would have wanted a physical event, but never mind. But yeah, so I think with regard to the personal challenge, I mean, we all go through personal challenges every single day, and I'm sure Aman and Abhinav and Poonam ma'am would definitely agree that especially because as entrepreneurs you would love you face a new challenge every single day, right? Today you feel that एक छोटा चैलेंज आपके पास आया, कल इससे और बड़ा चैलेंज आपको आपके सामने दिख जाएगा. So I feel in terms of challenges, personal challenge, if I would say, when I was in class 12, I come from Calcutta, quote unquote, the city of joy. But so I come from Calcutta, and when I was in class 12, being a commerce student from Calcutta, the most famous combination you are forced to or deemed to take is BCom plus CA. That is like that's like the hot cake. That's like the hottest selling cake. If you're doing BCom as a commerce student, you tend to pick up CA as well. CA or CS, which is company secretary and not computer science. People would feel computer science, but I'm talking about the commerce background here. So CS. So I think these two courses, I think, so when I entered college, I saw that in my class of 70 people, almost 80 to 85% people who picked up the same combination. And because I was in that environment, I thought that's the only correct option in front of me. So I might as well go ahead and do it. Because you are in that environment कि आपको लगता है कि यार ठीक है, सब कोई बीकॉम के साथ सीए करे तो सही होगा यार, इतने सारे लोग गलत थोड़ी हो सकते हैं. तो मेरे को लगा ठीक है, this is like the best combination for me as well. So I joined the CA fraternity. I joined the CA course. CA के 3 levels होते हैं, CPT, IPCC and final. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know, I cleared the first level at one go. So I say fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know, because उस समय तो मेरे को बड़ा fortunate लग रहा था, but बाद में मेरे को लग रहा था कि काश मैं फेल ही हो जाता तो ठीक होता, क्योंकि बाद में मेरे को पता चला that I was not made for it. And I feel that was a challenge to basically overcome. I had to overcome that challenge because that time my parents wanted me to do CA. And they were basically looking at the safety net कि यार ठीक है, CA कर लोगे, जॉब मिल जाएगी, तो सुखी परिवार बना के जी लोगे, जिंदगी जी लोगे. But I had no interest in doing it. So that I think was a personal challenge. But then things started taking shape. I started my own venture when I was 19, when I was in my second year, and that took off. And then I started creating content in 2018 after passing out of college. That slowly and steadily took off. So I think challenges. My biggest personal challenge was knowing that I'm not good at something and taking that action that, okay, I am not good at something. Let's just take a step back, reevaluate, and then start something which I am interested in. And of course, I can see a monetization aspect as well. So that would be my personal challenge.
Because sometimes it's difficult for us to accept that we're not good at something, even after
100%.
having a stream.
100%.
So, Mr. Arora, so if you want to share like your biggest challenge till now.
Hi, Damayanti, and hello, Deepak, Aman, Poonam ma'am. Something that I could actually relate to, and I'm saying this after a while because it's been a while since Poonam ma'am spoke. I could relate to the Kashmiri Pandit story, and why can I relate to that is my dad belongs to the forces. I've seen Kashmir very closely. I've seen parts of Kashmir very closely. I've seen Jammu. I've seen the Pahadi culture. I've in fact got a lot of Kashmiri Pandits as friends in the forces. You make friends from all across. What I mean by forces is I belong to my upbringing has been in a military background. So completely relate to that. That while you were talking about it, I could visualize the stories that came. That I was told by my friends long back. But yeah, talking about challenges, I think my upbringing has shaped my mindset towards it pretty well. Having been born to an army family is sort of a boon and a curse at the same time, because you're put in structures before you're even ready for it. I wasn't allowed to have my breakfast unless I could use the cutlery right and cut a cutlet the right way. So I would probably take 1.5 hours to just finish my breakfast, or just give up on it. And that's the kind of upbringing I've had. So something that I've realized, these rules more often than not were just imposed on me. Imposed might be a too loud a word that I'm throwing around, but they were imposed on me by the structure, by the environment that I was getting brought up in. But eventually, you know, as I grew up, I realized a certain psychology of it. I didn't know the reason behind it, but when I realized the psychology of it, I realized that the difference between fear and a challenge. Here, I'm positioning challenge in a positive light. When you take something as a challenge, you take something as a dare. You know, there's a different. If you watch Jordan Peterson a bit, you'll realize that there's a completely different psychophysiological system, you know, that's in place if you view something as a dare, and if you view something as a fear.
Yeah,
there are different systems dealing with the whole thing. So, you know, I've been told to look at things. I mean, that if you even by mistakenly watched any video of Ladakh or you know, any army establishment, you'll see these guys write a lot of quotes on the walls: self before service, etc., etc., etc. So many things. So, you know, these things basically put you in that mindset. Okay, it's okay. You know, we will just go for the kill. Go for the kill is what's translated into multiple quotes across the entire services. So that's the mindset that I've adopted. And when I've looked at challenges, I think challenges have only been fun. They've been empowering towards the end of it. You know, it's a nice thrill. You just got to feel whole in yourself, complete in yourself, and you know, then when you face with a challenge, then I mean, it's okay. Just have it in you that, okay, if I get hurt, if the feared part inside me gets hurt, there's a grown-up part of me that'll take care of it. So if you have that mindset, then things are good to go.
I think it's very like what I could take back from your experience is that it's very important for us to take something as a challenge or as a fear, because our response accordingly gets shaped.
Absolutely.
The walls and having motivational posters, they'll definitely have a more positive reinforcement as compared to something like a fear. So thank you, sir. That was, I think.
Fear, you know, if I may add here, fear sometimes can be a rabbit hole. Mostly. It's, you know, you're just going deep into it. And it's not, I mean, all of us feel that fear, you know. I would also say, dar ke aage jeet hai. I will do my new plug here. But, you know, fear, it's a rabbit hole, honestly. Because the moment you start getting into that trap, and it's, all of us go through that. It's not like we can all sit here today and give gyan and say, "Arey, main to darte nahi hu, main to darte nahi hu." Absolutely not. I mean, today, what COVID is doing to us, I mean, I have not felt this kind of emotion ever in my life, whether it's fear, whether you call it helplessness, about, you know, like last 10 days, I've not done zero work. You know, I've been zero productive because I'm either trying to help get someone a hospital bed, an ICU bed or something or the other, and you're not able to do it. You're not able to, you know, you're calling 100 phones and you're helping friends. There's so many people. I mean, I'm sure all of us sitting here, if you have relatives up north, you would know what's happening. So, but you know, it's like I said, you know, it's like, so you have to consciously pull yourself out of it. Otherwise, you just get sucked in.
I mean, the pandemic has been something that we've only read in our books. I mean, I have done that. When I read to the 18th century pandemics, to the 19th century pandemics, they just exist in the book. But living through that is a very different experience. I have a second question, because moving on, and this second question is especially oriented towards how our world is shaping. So today, Indians have always been job seekers. I mean, we've always seen middle class people running behind with their resumes, attending different offices and stuff. So at a time when the Indian economic growth is a little tricky, how is it going to affect the job creators and the job seekers? I think, Mr. Parikh, you can start, sir.
All right. So I feel the pandemic has taught us a lot of things. Firstly, we never thought that. Firstly, we've known that a lot of meetings are very redundant. It's not really required. A simple Zoom call or a simple phone call would just do the job. It's not really important to sit together for hours and hours and discuss about the agenda. It's not very required. And secondly, we've understood that work from home is a real thing. We've been able to do that really well, albeit because of the times that we are living in right now, I think we've been able to fairly do a good job with work from home, because initially थोड़ा difficult था, but now people have started setting up home offices because they know that this could be the future. But with that being said, I think the mindset of job seekers is still there. There will be people who will seek more and more jobs in the future. But with regard to job creators, I think we've seen an upsurge in terms of a lot of entrepreneurship ventures and a lot of entrepreneurs coming up, especially during this pandemic. We've seen that so many Indian startups have gained the unicorn status. So I think at a time when people, or when traditional companies were laying off employees, startups were hiring more people. Right? So you see the contrast here, right? There's a huge contrast in terms of hiring and laying off, hiring and firing, right? A lot of multinational companies and a lot of like established businesses, 10 years, 15 years, 20, 25, 30 years, they started laying off people because they couldn't, adapt to the situation. On the other hand, startups or entrepreneurs, they started hiring aggressively because they knew that now if they hire more and more people, A, they could get people, B, they could hire the best of the best talent, considering the job roles and considering the environment around. So I feel the environment is, both the environments are there, but I feel that we are moving towards a gig economy where contractual and freelance work will become all the more important. Skills over degrees will definitely take over. Me saying this and Elon Musk saying this is a completely different ballgame altogether, but Elon Musk says the degree is not important. He's opening up a lot of roles where degrees are not important. अगर हमारे पास कोई skill है तो he would basically hire them. So I think skills over degrees would be the new norm. I am very bullish on that. I'm sure like Abhinav and Aman, both of them being in the tech space, specifically Aman being in the ed tech space, would definitely agree with me on this. So yeah, that would, I would love to hear what others have to say.
Yes, sir, definitely. Gig economy has definitely been in the upsurge. It is even prevalent amongst us, I guess. I've seen a lot of my friends even taking up blogging seriously. Previously, they used to do it as maybe a fun time or something, but now they're actually taking it.
Also, side hustle. I think side hustle, because when people have traditional jobs, and the pandemic happened, so they were like, "Arey, abhi to bahut time hai, abhi kuch karte hain." And then people started taking their passion or hobbies very seriously, and eventually people started monetizing it, and that's more important.
Yeah.
So people started taking up side hustles very seriously. People started cooking, people started blogging, people started creating content, people started their own entrepreneurship ventures. They started their own bakeries, and they were thriving. And a lot of people who didn't put a question mark on them, saying, "Arey, abhi to nahi chal raha, let's adapt, let's do something about it." So I feel this is a difficult time, and a lot of people, as Poonam ma'am said, it's more about adaptation. So we've been able to adapt to this difficult situation. Yeah, and people have thrived, people have failed, but it's just an alarming situation right now.
Yes, sir. Mr. Dadawal, sir, please, if you want to share something about the edtech space, because people are really looking up to your videos.
I guess दीपक पारेख जी ने ऑलरेडी पूरा कवर कर लिया है काफ़ी अच्छे से. वही ब्रूस ली वाली बात, आपको पानी भरना पड़ेगा, चाहे जग में डालें चाहे आप ग्लास में डालें, तो अडाप्ट होना पड़ेगा. और इनफैक्ट जब वो कह रहे थे काफ़ी सारे स्टार्टअप है जिन्होंने पिछले 1 साल के अंदर अपनी हायरिंग बढ़ा दी है, तो मैं अपनी कक्षा को देख रहा था. यस, हमारी टीम बहुत बड़ी हो गई है, मल्टी फोल्ड हो गई है. तो कुछ सेक्टर्स हैं जो कि इस पेंडेमिक के दौरान भी बहुत ऊपर गए हैं, चाहे हम फार्मा की बात करें, एजुकेशन की बात करें, या आपके टेक बेस्ड स्टार्टअप्स हैं, उन्होंने भी काफ़ी शूट किया है. तो मैं एक बार किसी व्यक्ति के साथ बैठा था और काफ़ी अच्छा उन्होंने फाइनेंशियल 30 साल की उम्र में एक बहुत अच्छी नेटवर्थ उन्होंने बनाई थी. तो ऐसे ही हम बात कर रहे थे, मेरा किन्हीं के साथ था, तो मैंने कहा इसमें तो लॉस हो जाएगा. तो वो कह रहे थे यार किसी का भांडा फूटता है तभी एक का ऊपर उठता है. मतलब उन्होंने बड़े रॉ टर्म्स में इस चीज़ को बोला. यहाँ पे शायद थोड़ी चुभ सकती है. आप हमेशा जब मार्केट को देखेंगे तो पिछले 1 साल में जो कुछ मैसिव अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ क्रिएट हुई हैं, स्पेशली कुछ सेक्टर्स के अंदर, और उसमें सोशल मीडिया कंटेंट क्रिएशन भी एक ऐसा चीज़ है. आज के हर दिन हज़ारों यूट्यूब चैनल्स खुल रहे हैं। अगर मैं सिर्फ कंटेंट की बात करूं, एजुकेशन जो तो मुझे लगता है शायद 8-10 साल का बूस्ट मिला होगा, एडवांस हो गई है। 8 से 10 साल लगते सारे बच्चों को ऑनलाइन पढ़ने में, वो सारी चीज़ 1 से 2 साल के अंदर हुई हैं। और जो बाकी चीज़ें बताई गई स्किल्स, आज ही हम जैसे रिक्रूट कर रहे थे अपने फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड के लिए और व्यक्ति, तो मैं आज के दिन सिर्फ स्किल्स देखता हूँ। मतलब मुझे फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता व्यक्ति बीटेक का है या उसने बीसीए कर रखा है। मैं ये देखता हूँ कि यार उसने अपना पोर्टफोलियो कितना अच्छा बनाया है। इनफैक्ट अब बीसीए गाय अगर मैं कंपनी पर्सपेक्टिव से देखूँ, उसका काम अच्छा है तो मेरे लिए और अच्छा है। बीटेक वाले व्यक्ति को शायद मुझे 80-90 हज़ार देने पड़ते, वो व्यक्ति के लिए 35-40,000 इज़ अ ग्रेट पैकेज। तो जो कंपनीज़ हैं वो भी इस चीज़ को अच्छे से समझ रही हैं। हाँ, आपको थोड़ा-सा रिक्रूटमेंट प्रोसेस में ज़्यादा समय लगाना पड़ता है। हो सकता है आपको लिंक्डइन पे शॉर्टलिस्ट करके एक-एक व्यक्ति को अप्रोच करना पड़े, बट स्किल्स डेफिनेटली। इनफैक्ट अगर आप अपने अभी कॉलेज में आप सब बीटेक के स्टूडेंट हैं, कोडिंग कर रहे हैं, तो मेक श्योर कि सिर्फ हम अपना एक लैंग्वेज डीएस एल्गो ना सीखें। आपके कोड शेफ जैसे प्लेटफॉर्म है, कोशिश करो वहाँ पे आपके 4 स्टार 5 स्टार आप कोडर बनो। कोड फोर्सेस के ऊपर पे आपकी रैंकिंग बढ़े। जीसॉक जैसे ओपन सोर्स के ऊपर आप कंट्रीब्यूट करो, तो वहाँ से भारी भरकम आपका होता है। मैं रिसेंटली मेरे टीममेट्स ही थे अपनी कक्षा के ऑलरेडी मेंबर्स, वो और व्यक्ति हायर कर रहे थे, तो अपना इंट्रोडक्शन वो ऐसे देते हैं कि आई हैव बीन वर्किंग विद माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एंड मैंने पहले गूगल में इंटर्नशिप करी है, आई हैव बीन विद डीआरडीओ। और मैं देख रहा था सिर्फ 3 शब्द बोल रहे हैं वो, और साथ में फिर बोल देते थे कोड शेफ पे मेरे 5 स्टार। मतलब 4 शब्द में उन्होंने बता दिया कि हम कितने अच्छे हैं। आज के दिन बैक इन 2015 से 19 जब मैंने बीटेक करी, तब 3rd ईयर 2nd ईयर में लोगों को जाके पता चलता था कि यार कोडिंग करनी है और प्लेसमेंट्स वगैरह लगेंगे। आप बिलीव नहीं करोगे, कल यहीं पे हमारा एक लड़का है अडोबी का, वो पूछता मुझसे कि एक छोटा बच्चा 7th-8th क्लास का बच्चा है और वो पूछ रहा है कि शुड आई टेक एआई और शुड आई टेक आईटी। एंड हम दोनों हंसने लग गए कि ये अभी तो कॉलेज भी बहुत दूर है। यहाँ पे फर्स्ट ईयर का जो बच्चा आता है उसे पता होता है कि अब 4th ईयर तक क्या करना है, क्योंकि सोशल मीडिया पे अब सारा कंटेंट अवेलेबल है। पहले हम शर्माते थे सीनियर से कौन पूछेगा, अब वो चीज़ आपकी ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल है। तो कंपटीशन बढ़ रहा है, तो सिर्फ आपको अब डीएस एल्गो सीख के कुछ नहीं होगा, आपको कुछ अलग और करना पड़ेगा, चाहे वो ओपन सोर्स में कंट्रीब्यूशन से हो या चाहे आप अपने प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर रैंकिंग बढ़ा रहे हो। एंड आप कॉलेज में हो, मेरे को पता नहीं बाद में किसी क्वेश्चन में मौका मिलेगा या नहीं, पर एक कोशिश ज़रूर करें कि एक स्टार्टअप करने का प्रयत्न, सक्सेस हो फेल हो वो बाद में देखेंगे, वो चीज़ें बहुत सिखा देगा आपको, राइट। आपके डिग्री से ज़्यादा आपको लगेगा कि यार हाँ, इस चीज़ से मैं सीखा जिस पे मैंने 2 से 3 साल अपने कॉलेज के दौरान लगाए।
So that was really valuable, क्योंकि मुझे पता है यहाँ पे ऑडियंस में बहुत सारे लोग IT CSE के हैं। अगर वो लोग नहीं भी हैं तब भी उनको कोडिंग प्रोजेक्ट्स इन सब से बहुत ज़्यादा लगाव है। तो आई थिंक इन दैट सेंस इट रियली हेल्प देम टू गेट अ पर्सपेक्टिव, बिकॉज द प्लेसमेंट सीजन इज कमिंग अप एंड वी नो हाउ हाई द कॉम्पिटिशन इज। मेल हमारे इनबॉक्स से ही दिखता है कंपटीशन का क्या हाल है। थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर सेइंग ऑल थिंग्स। It really helped because it kind of boosted my confidence also. Thank you, sir. Sir, I mean, Mr. Arora, sir, if you want to kind of contribute something.
I'll actually give you a different perspective to all this. You said Indians are job seekers, and when we say Indians are job seekers, we kind of look at it in these days it's become a trend ke we say it in a condescending manner कि oh my god, Indians are job seekers, सिर्फ job ही करना है. That's not really bad, and if you understand where it came from, how did we become job seekers, and how are the things changing? This happened because, and why your parents stress so much on you getting a job, you getting a stable life, is because Indian economy was in tatters when they were growing up. They have been exposed to their realities.
Absolutely.
And their realities, they've internalized their realities, right? It's hard when you shape your belief systems. It's not easy to come out of it. You'll probably never come out of it. You'll probably do this. You'll project your own internal beliefs to your own children. So at one point of time, Indian economy was in tatters. Where was the opportunity then? The opportunity arose with companies like Infosys. Infosys is a services company. And you might call Infosys a revolution in India, which it really was. But what these guys brought back-end office work to India of global companies. If you read Taleb, there's this author called Taleb, you'll realize that how the US economy works, how the best of US companies work. Apple is a design company. The manufacturing happens elsewhere. Apple is a design company. They have designers. They don't have manufacturers in the house, right? They do the people, the core people do the design. They're thinkers, they're tinkerers. They get things right, and then they mass produce it elsewhere. So similar things. What the mass produce and the dirty job, the back end office work was getting outsourced to India in 90s and early 2000s or 90s, etc. That's where Infosys and TCS, etc. became big companies. I don't know what the case is now, but these services companies were where the money was. And they were Infosys was able to set up an infrastructure where they were able to train a lot of Indians and get them to do this work and then outsource their work to the US corporate lords. So that's where this culture began. That's where this mindset came, and that's where it was an opportunity. Then what happened is 99. Does anyone remember the 99 bubble? People say the .com bubble. They call it the .com.
Yeah.
So what happened in the .com bubble? There was internet. Very similar thing that's happening right now. It happened in 99 or 2000 as well with the .com bubble. You were like, okay, up to you can do B2C. You can do business to consumer. You can do direct to consumer. You can set up your shop and sell everywhere. There used to be websites like Bazi.com. I used to shop from
Soda.com.
Yeah, and they used to be dial up and all. So uske baad kya hua? That .com bubble burst, and that B2C, B2C was a word that became popular then. Business to consumer. There are B2C startups, consumer startups. We call them B2C. So, eventually what that happened is, Outlook magazine or some magazine, when the bubble had burst, they were announcing to India, guys, B2C means back to consulting. Matlab, वापस आ जाओ, at your startups, come back to consulting jobs, come back to services companies, back to consulting. That's what it's become. Then, then obviously the ecosystem evolved. We're now sitting in 2021. We are hearing the same words, B2C, D2C, Yevo, and now the ecosystem is building up. So it's okay. Now we are actually, India's done services for really, really long. Your probably parents, if they've been employed in the private sector, they've known only services for really, really long. We're just now about to be building products. We're now seeing products. Now, as in the last half decade, we're seeing product startups coming out of India. So, of course, it's a brilliant opportunity. I just wanted. Everyone's point of view here is really good, from Deepak's to Aman's. Aman spoke about Code Chef and all of these things. I can just probably add to that a little bit. From a recruiter's point of view, how all of these things add up is ho kya raha hai yaar mass recruiting companies mein, even the best of mass recruiting companies, Goldman Sachs ki baat kar lo. Usme ho kya raha hai? They're getting thousands and hundreds of thousands of CVs. Do you think a human is, sifting through those CVs? They're using CV crawlers. They're looking for keywords, etc. And they know that, I'm sorry, your curriculum is outdated. And it'll take a lot of time for your curriculum to catch up. It probably never will. That's where the edtech boom. He said, किसी का बांडा फूटता है तो एक industry create होती है. इसको English में you hear disruption. Someone disrupted this industry. What does disruption mean? Disruption is disruption. Banda putna is disruption. So when an industry gets disruption, that's where another, someone cashes in on it. And edtech has always been ripe for disruption. So So coming back to what Aman said, he was like, don't just stick to your, data structures, algorithm, and whatever's in the curriculum. Go outside, because the platforms that are online are built by people who are in the industry. Those platforms are in touch with people who are in the industry. Those platforms are in touch with the industry. Go, build a name for yourself out there. It's an open source world. You have internet. You will be identified by what you do there. And just these words, as he said, if you have these credentials, they already differentiate you. When there are hundreds of thousands of people, when there's competition, what do you need? You need a differentiator.
Yeah.
And a credential that's relevant, and that is what it is.
Ah, interesting.
Yes, ma'am. Please, yes. Ma'am, we
So-
want to know of you now.
So I think like we just heard that we shouldn't look down at the fact that job seekers and job creators, because I think both of them will coexist. Okay. I think I'll just go back and do a little bit of a behavioral deep dive. If like when I was growing up, my father would buy a car at like 40, his first car, right? And then the car would stay with us for like 10, 15, 20 years, right? That's not the same anymore. Like you get into a job, the first thing you want to do is buy a car, right? At 20, 21, you have a car. 23, 24, you'll have a car. You're paying your own EMI. I think the way the economy has changed, whether it's the Infosys, whether it's the, us becoming the services backyard or whatever, from there to, I would say the startup incubator for the world today. I think a lot has changed there, but a lot is still the same, right? And I think it's also sometimes, and I just to give you an example of IPL. Think of IPL when it started. The kind of sponsors you had, or even going back to when you guys some of maybe 10 years back, the best job would be to get into a bank. It's not the same. It's not as, if I may say, sexy anymore to get into a bank, right? Then came the telecom boom, and everybody wanted to join a telecom company. And again, if you look at IPL, everything was about telecom. Everything was about best ball sponsored by Vivo and best something wicket by Oppo. And no, actually, you had the Indian players, the Lavas and the what else or whatever of the world. Yeah. So it's like a wave. Those things happen. Now if you look at the last two IPLs, it's only startups. 11 startups.
The Unacademy was there this year.
Last year as well. So see, this is the new India. This is the India that's growing, it's changing, it's evolving much faster. And it's good because our aspirations have changed as people. There's a lot more confidence in who we are. We have a lot of pride today in who we are. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. It's what you do that matters. And the second thing, I think, I personally believe that failure about 10 years back was unacceptable. Today, failure is okay. You fail, you move on, your startup didn't work, you did something, you move to another one, that's okay. When we were growing up, failure was a bad word. You couldn't fail. Today we are accepting failure, and that's how it should be. You need to go out, and I think that's what I would encourage all of you guys, all the students who are listening. Go out, do your thing. And I think some of the panelists said, make एक startup चला के देखो. बिल्कुल सीखो, बिल्कुल करो. That's how you learn. I remember in PepsiCo, we actually started this whole concept of dare to fail. We had this thing where we, again, helps when the leadership is supportive. So we wanted to encourage people to try out, take risks, take chances. So we had this award called Dare to Fail, where actually we talked about this team tried this and they failed. And these are the learnings. And it was not like a bad word. It was actually what did we learn? So it wasn't. So I think encouraging people to try things, giving them the cushion, I think that's the India that's become now. We are seeing now. I think a lot. So in that context, I think people will still want to look for jobs. There will be people who will go out and create jobs. And I think, like I said, both of these will coexist. But I think one thing that I think the the pandemic has taught us is that every company has to pivot on digital. Whether you're a cement company or you're a new age startup, you have to pivot to digital. If you're not pivoting to digital, you will fail. So I think I would just I think.
Also, I think just to quickly add on to what Poonam ma'am said, I think I was reading an interesting tweet the other day.
Not Poonam ma'am, please.
Okay. This is just out of respect.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think I was just reading a tweet the other day and it said that if you think that digital is the future, you're already living in the past. So I think it's all about capitalizing on what the power of digital right now, and I feel that probably going 10 years down the line in this decade, probably companies will, and I'm sure Abhinav and Aman would agree that every company will hire a chief content officer, where there will be a position of a chief content officer where people will start opening up a chief content officer and looking to hire people who will be talking about how to strategize content for their social, how to kill it on digital, not only in terms of social media but also in terms of building a strong emailing list, building a strong network, building a strong SEO. And I feel that this is something that a lot of companies will look for. So, I mean, also just to add 2 cents on what she mentioned about failure, I think social media has been an accelerator in talking about failures and being vocal about failures. And a lot of people have been very vocal about how they failed, and it's absolutely very normal. I think initially when it started off, I think people were not very vocal about talking about their failures. But right now, because of the advent of social media, for example, topics which are a taboo, considered taboo in our society, like menstruation or mental health, people would not talk about it. They would be like, "अरे यार, ये सब के बारे में बात मत करो, ये सब के बारे में बात नहीं करते public." But because of social media, it's become very vocal, and we are breaking taboos, we are breaking stereotypes, and we are coming forward and talking about these things, which I'm sure is very important going forward.
I think, yes, sir, please.
हाय, तो आपने कहा था आप प्लेसमेंट्स के लिए भी प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं, तो जैसे अभिनव कह रहे थे कि काफ़ी सारे हज़ारों बच्चे आते हैं और उनमें से हम शॉर्ट लिस्ट करते हैं, तो वो बात एकदम एक्यूरेट है। तो मान लो हमें भी कहीं पे लिंक्डइन पे पोस्ट करना है कि ये जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटी है, तो गूगल फॉर्म के अंदर, सीवी तो बहुत बाद में आएगा, गूगल फॉर्म के अंदर ही कुछ क्वेश्चन सिर्फ इसलिए प्लांट किए जाते हैं जिससे कि आप फिल्टर आउट कर पाओ। तो अगर 8000 एप्लीकेशन थी, कुछ बस 3-4 फिल्टर लगाने के बाद आपके पास 350-400 बच्चे बचते हैं।
100%, like
वो क्वेश्चन सिर्फ फिल्टर के लिए होते हैं, दे आर नॉट फॉर इन्फॉर्मेशन के लिए सिर्फ नाम एंड नंबर चाहिए होते हैं। मतलब तो व्हेनेवर वी आर मेकिंग गूगल फॉर्म, मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ आप, क्योंकि इतने लोगों को छांटना अपने आप में एक बड़ा टास्क है, मतलब उसके लिए किसको लेके आए, वी हैव टू फिल्टर डाउन पीपल। तो उसके लिए प्रश्न ही इस प्रकार से पूछे जाते हैं, प्लस वर्क ऑन योर सोशल मीडिया हैंडल्स। पहले यूँ बोलते थे कि यार कोई फेसबुक की लिंक मत मांगना, क्यों मान रहे हैं, कुछ आज के दिन हर कोई मांगता है। मैं मांगता हूँ लिंक्डइन की अपनी प्रोफाइल भेजो, कैसी है आपकी, बाकी सोशल मीडिया हैंडल्स, टेक में गिटहब तो मैंडेटरी है ही। तो अपनी लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल को आपने कैसे मेंटेन किया है? सिर्फ कुछ लोगों ने ऐसे फोटो लगा रखी है लिंक्डइन, मतलब ये नहीं चलेगा। तो इस पे एक, मतलब इफ यू वांट, देयर इज अ डेडिकेटेड वीडियो, एंड उस हिसाब से आप बनाएं, लगाएं अपने 2 से 3 घंटे, अपडेटेड रखें उसे, वो भी बहुत जरूरी है साथ में।
I think I would add to that because ये आपका मतलब, you know, it's your personal brand that you're creating. It's your personal stamp that you're leaving there on digital, and that's not going to go anywhere, you know. So he's right, like this is great on Instagram, absolutely, but if you're doing LinkedIn, then you know the conversation is very different. So and I think people need to, context. And people, bilkul, absolutely. And I think yahan pe I would also add that you know, when you're building your profile, think of it like a story that you're telling. So if someone as a recruiter is looking at you, he's looking at your story, or she's looking at your story and who you are, and see how that story is panning out. So invest in that time, invest in building your profile.
I think from this question, I would like to sum it up, like whatever all 4 of you have put forth, because it's very important. And I think as engineers, sometimes even I have seen when I joined as a fresher, I used to have the thing that no, social media, maybe I'll just post a few pictures, because we were told early on and by our college that by some of my other well-wishers also, that, you know, maintain a very clean profile, don't go for very controversial topics or things like that. But I think after recently I read a report that one of the foreign universities, they actually invest like around 5 or 6 hours of lectures on just teaching a student on how to build a good LinkedIn profile. And again, it comes back to the fact that we need to be out there, we need to beat the competition by being different. And again, there is nothing wrong in being a job seeker or a job creator. Like both of them will coexist in the upcoming decade. So I think the next question that will follow is that, like, today having an idea is not enough for an entrepreneurial venture. Like a lot of things like audience response, marketing, creating content, and having a dynamic business model are equally important. Like especially for social media, I think social media can be a very harsh critique. If you post a YouTube video and you, I mean, if it's not up mark to someone's like expectations, they're very harsh about it. I've seen people commenting like really bad words and not even encouraging the creator. So what are some of the points that need to be kept in mind before launching an idea? So Mr. Ratharwal, I think you have already experienced that from students because yeah.
इसमें पहले तो आप ऐसा समझो, आप एक कस्टम पीसी बना रहे हो। हर बच्चे का एक सपना होता है कस्टम पीसी, स्पेशली गेमर्स का। कि अब उसमें सोचो मैंने सब कुछ हाई एंड डाल दिया और उसको सिर्फ 2 GB रैम दी। तो जैसे आप बोलते हो आइडिया बहुत अच्छा है, पर टीम अच्छे से काम एग्जीक्यूट नहीं कर पा रही। हर चीज़ आपको हर एक पे काम करना पड़ेगा। और बात रही आइडिया पे, मैंने कहीं पे पढ़ा था, कहाँ की रिसर्च थी ये मुझे याद नहीं, कि हर साल एक व्यक्ति को 4 ऐसे आइडिया होते हैं जो कि मिलियनेयर वर्थ के होते हैं। तो अगर आपने पिछले 10 साल चलो शुरुआत किया, आपने चलना बोलना सीखने में लगाया, तो 11 से 20 साल की उम्र में आपने 40 अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिस कर दी। है क्या कि लकी व्यक्ति कौन है जिसने एक अपॉर्चुनिटी को ग्रैब करा और उसके बाद एग्जीक्यूट कर दिया। अगर हम ये वेट कर रहे हैं कि पापा जब परमिशन दे देंगे तब मैं इस चीज़ पे काम करूँगा, तब तो बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिस होने वाली है हमारे हाथों से। तो पहला चीज़ यही। और आई गेस आइडिया, अगर आप कोई भी स्टार्टअप कर रहे हो, पहले तो 100 लोगों से पूछ लो जो भी आपके पोटेंशियल कस्टमर हैं, क्या उन्हें वो चाहिए, क्या हमने ही तो दिमाग में नहीं सोच रखा कि बहुत अच्छा है। तो अगर आप में इतना नहीं है दम, या इतना आप लेजी हो रहे हैं कि यार मैं 100 कस्टमर से जाके पूछ के उनसे सर्वे लेके लिखूंगा, ये तो बहुत बड़ा काम लग रहा है, तो आप मत करो, क्योंकि पहले आप उनसे ले लो, राइट। इनफैक्ट अगर आप CTOs मेरे जो थे वही मुझे कल को वो कह रहे थे, यार मैं अभी ये चीज़ पढ़ रही थी, पता नहीं कहाँ पढ़ा उन्होंने, कि आपको सबसे पहले कोड करना स्टार्ट नहीं करना चाहिए। CTO भी सबसे पहले यूँ समय बिताए कि यार क्या चीज़ असली में चाहिए, आप कस्टमर से बात करें, आप पहले दिन कोड करना स्टार्ट ना करें। तो 100 लोगों से पहले पूछो कि क्या आपको ये चीज़ चाहिए, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है। और मैं कल ही एक चीज़ पढ़ रहा था, क्रेड के जो फाउंडर हैं कुणाल कुशवाहा नाम है शायद उनका, उन्होंने एक कॉन्सेप्ट एक्सप्लेन कर रखा था डेल्टा 4 का, और मुझे बहुत प्यारा लगा वो डेल्टा 4 का कॉन्सेप्ट। एंड वो ये था कि जैसे पुराने ज़माने में हम टैक्सी स्टैंड पे जाते थे, टैक्सी बुक करते थे, आज के दिन हमारे पास ऊबर है। तो एक तरह से अगर आप अपने कस्टमर, पोटेंशियल कस्टमर की एफिशिएंसी 4 गुना नहीं इंक्रीज कर रहे हो, ठीक है, तो दम वाली बात नहीं है। जैसे कि अगर मेरा ऊबर ड्राइवर है, कभी कभी क्या होता है उन्हें मैप देखना नहीं आता, हम फ्रस्ट्रेट होंगे, पर उसके बावजूद भी हम दूसरी कैब बुक करेंगे। मतलब 20 मिनट तक कैब बुक नहीं भी हुई तब भी मैं वेट करूंगा 25वें मिनट तक कि ऊबर से ही हो जाए, नहीं तो ओला से हो जाए। पर मैं टैक्सी स्टैंड या ऑटो वाले के पास रेड लाइट पे जाके वेट नहीं करूंगा। तो इतना हाई टॉलरेंस होता है अगर आपकी एफिशिएंसी 4 टाइम्स है। वहीं पे उन्होंने एक और एग्जांपल लिया था कि अगर एक जैसे शर्ट लेनी है मुझे, तो या तो आप सरोजनी मार्केट से जाके ले लो, या फिर आप ऑनलाइन उसे ऑर्डर कर सकते हो। अब वहाँ पे सबकी एफिशिएंसी आप अगर स्केल दें तो अलग-अलग हो सकती है। कोई बोल सकता है कि हाँ, मुझे ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर पसंद है, कोई बोल सकता है नहीं मैं तो दुकान जाके फिटिंग लेना चाहता हूँ। पर अगर आप इसमें देखेंगे आपने एक बार ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर किया और फिटिंग गलत निकल गई, तो यहाँ पे टॉलरेंस बिल्कुल नहीं है। आप क्या करोगे, अगली बार से मार्केट से ही जाके लोगे, यार मैं नहीं ले रहा, मेरे जूते खराब आ गए, मेरी शर्ट खराब आ गई। तो वहां पे आपको दिखता है कि आपकी एफिशिएंसी यार शायद कहीं 1, 2, 3 ही थी। और अच्छी बात एफिशिएंसी की ये है कि आप उसे कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो। अगर व्यक्ति दोबारा पुराने मॉडल पे नहीं जाना चाहता, तो मतलब आपकी एफिशिएंसी ग्रेटर देन 4 है। उन्होंने एक और एग्जांपल दिया ट्रू कॉलर का। ट्रू कॉलर का कोई हमने आज तक एडवर्टाइजमेंट नहीं देखा, पर सब लोग जानते हैं। क्या है कि 2 लोग बैठे हैं, कोई अननोन कॉल आता है, पूछता है किसका है? अरे जी आपने ट्रू कॉलर इंस्टॉल नहीं किया। अरे जी ये मैं आपको बताता हूँ, इससे आपको एकदम से नंबर पता चल जाएगा। तो व्हेन एफिशिएंसी इज ग्रेटर देन 4, तो लोग ही चिल्ला चिल्ला के आपकी बोस्ट कर देंगे कि जनाब ये चीज आजकल चल रही है, आप कहाँ पिछले जमाने में रह रहे हैं। तो अपने प्रोडक्ट में ये भी चीज पूछे तो मेरे को काफी प्यारी चीज लगी। करे कम शब्दों में उन्होंने बता दिया, एफिशिएंसी शुड बी ग्रेटर देन 4। तो
I think that's a very important and unique concept क्योंकि मैंने पहले नहीं सुना था ये 4 delta concept के बारे में. Thank you, sir, for sharing that with all of us today. Mr. Parikh, sir, if you want to.
Yeah. Just to add 2 cents to what Aman has said, because वो वीडियो आई थिंक 38 मिनट्स लॉन्ग की है. मैंने आई थिंक 2-3 बार देख ली वो वीडियो अभी तक. उसमें से आई थिंक थोड़े बहुत व्यूज तो मैंने ही कंट्रीब्यूट कर दिए. बट द पॉइंट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक इज इट इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉक दैट ही ट्राइज टू डिलीवर. और वहाँ पे डेल्टा 4 का कॉन्सेप्ट मेरे को भी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगा, जहाँ पे ही ट्राइज टू टॉक अबाउट हाउ एफिशिएंसी कैन बी इंक्रीज. एंड द आइडिया आई थिंक I heard this line from Zakir Khan in an interview where he said कि अगर आप अभी तक सोच ही रहे हो ना कि करना है तो तब तक आप बहुत लेट हो. कि जिन्होंने करना है उन्होंने ऑलरेडी स्टार्ट कर दिया है. तो वो सोचने विचार करने में फिर lot of time gets wasted, and people who want to start, they just kick off with their venture, they start their work. Failure success I think is very secondary. The courage to start I think is more important. And of course idea validation का point जो अमन ने कहा is absolutely very true कि आप अपने पहले 100 कस्टमर से बात कर लो कि whether they actually want the product or not. If it's solving their problem, I think one of the most foremost things that's required before launching an idea is whether it's solving a problem or not. दो चीज है idea validation के लिए. एक, it basically whether it solves the problem or not, and B, whether it's making a process simpler or not. जो कि अगर मैं बात करूं, take any example of a successful startup and I'll tell you how it's made a process simpler. If you take any other startup that has failed, probably it has not been able to make a process simpler, right? We talk about Paytm, it has made money transfer very simple, right? We talk about credit, it talks about paying your credit card bills. Right? You talk about any startup, it will help you make processes very simpler. And I think that is something that is very important. कि आप आइडिया को जो वैलिडेट कर रहे हो, talk to your customer and see if it's जो आप प्रॉब्लम अपने दिमाग में सोच रहे हो वो प्रॉब्लम एग्जिस्ट एक्चुअल में करता है कि नहीं करता है. तो that is more important. The study, the feasibility analysis उसको बोल दो अगर टेक्निकल टर्म यूज करना है तो, बट वो feasibility analysis करना बहुत जरूरी है. Only then, and I think take the plunge. I would say, just to end this, I think take the plunge, start करो. Because सोचने में अगर आप अभी तक सोच ही रहे हो ना कि आपको करना है कि नहीं करना, आपके मन में बहुत कंफ्यूजन है and you are more or less convinced कि आपको नहीं ही करना है. So I think take the plunge, and I'm sure like अगर idea worth it नहीं है तो पता चल जाएगा, अगर idea worth it है तो भी पता चल जाएगा. So I think that probably makes the difference.
Absolutely. Mr. Arora, sir, you want to add on to this topic?
Can you repeat the question again?
So
I
basically,
heard both of them, but it's surrounding a certain question.
It's about ideas. Yeah, it's about ideas.
Yes, sir. Like basically the most important points that need to be kept in mind before launching any idea.
Honestly, I won't talk much about what I've read or seen, but personal journey is such that your idea will keep evolving. You don't know much about what's happening in the world, and what you're doing is you're moving. Okay, I'll give you how to think about it. Don't have a map, have a compass. Map, आपको, it'll tell you कितना किलोमीटर्स है, कितना टाइम बचा है, etc. उतना स्पेसिफिक मत जाओ, अभी मत जाओ when you're starting, but have a compass. Okay, this is broadly the problem I want to solve. And some other things, that Aman said के कोड लिखने से पहले कोड लिखने से पहले यूजर्स से बात करो, 100 यूजर्स से बात करो. I think ये कभी खत्म नहीं होता. ये I've built multiple products. We're building a product right now. It's a community product. What I keep doing every week is I end up calling 30 users, and 30 people who install the app, I call them, how do you get to know about the app? Ads देखा, किससे सुना, क्या समझ आया आपको ऐप में क्या हो रहा है, क्या समझ नहीं आया. This is a process that will never end. Knowing your user, knowing the end audience. ये पता है, ये भी एक मेरे लिए एक internal journey है, बहुत लोगों के लिए हुई होगी. कि होता क्या है कि when we become too proud of our skill set, like customer से कौन बात करेगा, वो तो बैक एंड वाला जॉब हो गया, वो तो कस्टमर सर्विस BPO जैसा जॉब हो गया. बट बाद में तुम्हें पता लगेगा कि सीनियर मोस्ट प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर्स ऑफ कंपनीज लाइक हॉटस्टार और व्हाटएवर big ass companies, the most crucial thing that these guys have mastered is something called user interviews.
Absolutely.
It's just like picking up the phone and start dialing and making the user comfortable and understanding ho kya raha hai.
Absolutely.
Because no concept, no theory will teach you what you will get, what you will observe in real action when your product is actually meeting the user, and what are the various intricacies that are happening. So knowing your user is very important. Having a very clear idea upfront, okay, you can have a clear first step and have a long-term vision, but your idea will keep evolving. You will test hypothesis at every stage, and you will be like, bro, ये तो सोच के चले थे हम, but ये truth नहीं है. So many hypotheses will fail, and you'll realize that what your books tell you, it's half truth, or it's less than half truth. The world is not as you can't plan life, you can't plan your entrepreneurship journey. You just test hypothesis and build up on it. I planned a really big campaign last week. As per all theories and books, it should have been a success. It bombed. I was like, okay, sorry. But 2 weeks ago, I planned something. I was like, it'll be a mild success. Didn't put much effort, but it did really well. I was like, okay, crazy. So, at the end of the day, you become humble, and you're like, hey, sometimes it's okay to not know why things succeeded. And failure, when you fail, try to know why you failed. But sometimes when you succeeded, it's okay to not know, because there's a lot that you don't know when you start tinkering with things.
That's so true. I think true in terms of content as well. I think a lot of we've been creating content as well. So I think you never know what's going to work and what's not going to work. You just keep on creating. Suddenly you feel like, अरे ये idea तो बहुत कैसा ये idea में तो मतलब कमाल engagement आ जाएगा. But then you feel like, अरे यार ये तो relate ही नहीं हुआ लोगों से. Then when you don't think hard enough on content, and then you feel like, अरे यार ठीक है, देखते हैं, try करते हैं इसमें. वो ये mentality रहता है ना कि try करते हैं, experiment करते हैं. As a creator, you're trying to experiment all the time. तो try करते हैं, ठीक है, देखते हैं क्या होगा, and that works wonders for you. And
That's true.
So I think recent experiment मेरी ये थी कि I tried putting up a video in Abhishek Upmanyu style, and I tried to mimic his accent, and which basically I wanted to. The idea behind that was to spread a message around COVID, because things are very intense right now. So I basically wanted to give a very simple message that stay at home. That's it. Stay at home. Usko I tried and portrayed it in Abhishek Upmanyu's voice, who is a stand-up comedian. I'm sure most of you know him. So I tried and put it up in his voice, mimicking him, and that worked wonders for me. I did not know that it would work, but the engagement on that post is brilliant. So I think works well for content as well, works well for business as well. That hypothesis, I mean, works. I think almost everywhere.
So I think I would add. I think even I have not been an entrepreneur. I've just been working in companies. So, but I think having an idea and running with the idea. I think some of us talked about the speed. I think that's whether you're in a company, whether you're an entrepreneur, the speed of execution is critical. सोचते रहोगे तो कुछ नहीं होगा, पहली चीज. और दूसरा very, very, very important. And I think that's where I struggle with when I speak to a lot of new age startups. I think starting with the consumer journey. I think what is the consumer journey? That is the most powerful thing. Start with where is the need? What am I trying to solve for? And when you have that need, go deep and understand how is the consumer. Like, Abhinav talked about calling up 30 customers. You cannot undermine that. Even whichever company I've worked for, product हमारा निकलता नहीं था. Like a Nokia, for example, we would launch phones every 4 weeks. 4 to 5 weeks, we were launching phones, different price segments. But if you're not in the market and you're not picking up what is the market saying, what is the retailer saying, that is a place to learn as well. What is the retailer saying? What is the blogger saying? What is the consumer saying? जो खरीदने आ रहा है वहाँ पे खड़े रहो दुकान में और देखो वो क्या कलर ढूंढ रहे हैं, अच्छा नहीं स्पेक्स ढूंढ रहे हैं, कुछ और ढूंढ रहे हैं. So that's such an evolving journey and so insightful. You just cannot take them away. So don't be lazy यानी कि मैं घर पे बैठ के अपने ऑफिस पे बैठ के PowerPoint और चार्ट बना के करूँगा, कुछ नहीं होता उससे. I would in corporates, people hate you when you tell them to market make you. Like I remember one of our CEOs, he would look at a sales or marketing person sitting in the office during day. They were kicked out. That's the only way to. You can't do sales, you can't do marketing if you're not sitting out there in the field. So, and that's true for anything, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're in a company. If you're not out in the field, unless you're a back-end supply, and even then you need to be in your ecosystem, you need to be moving around, understanding how does it work. So nothing never undermine that consumer journey, consumer need, and understanding of be so sure about who's your consumer, define that person. That's how you succeed. And then of course the agility to move. I think there are so many times you have ideas that are like bada acha idea 4 mahine tak presentation hi ho rahi hoti uski, so that somebody else will run away with it, so
Yes, ma'am, definitely. I think from this question, what we as students can take back is that we need to be very more flexible with our ideas, with our business model, and like sir mentioned that not having a map but instead having a compass will actually
brilliant. Yeah, absolutely.
And again, like knowing your consumer, defining them, and understanding the journey, like even building on hypothesis is very important. So that is, I think, going to be a huge take back value from all the budding entrepreneurs. A lot of people have started working on their startups because of this pandemic.
Yeah.
At home, they have the side hustle going on. So yes. So I think that since most of you are like independent content creators, and ma'am, you've worked with multinational companies, so like you had to identify your niche. Right. So what helped you in gaining that clarity? Because these domains, these choosing, because I feel our generation at times can be very confused when it comes to gaining the clarity. We join the bandwagon, which can kind of harm our career growth as well. That's what I think. So, ma'am, why don't you start this time?
Can I add to your question?
Yes,
sir. And even I want an answer from Poonam. So, Poonam, I want you to having the experience that you've had, this is a personal question. I've realized that you can't just have positioning or brand strategy or brand narrative is not one and done game. It has to evolve with times, and this entire positioning concept is what a lot of content creators call. Okay, I've identified my niche. Okay, I'm going to be a stand-up comic. I'm going to do satire, or I'm going to do education content, or I'm going to teach only this segment of the crowd. So can you actually educate all of us about how you look at brand positioning and how it's not stagnant, it keeps changing, it keeps riding multiple waves?
So you're talking about personal, or you're talking about the question is personal, how do you build your own career, or are you talking about generally about how brands?
I mean, personally, I would love to know about brands, but for everyone, you can kind of.
Let's stick to brands. No, let's stick to brands. I think the whether you want to do a niche brand, whether it's a luxury brand, whether it's a mass brand, is that what the question is? Because I think the question kind of got diluted by the time it reached Abhinav. So, but Abhinav, your question was, how do you define whether it's a niche brand or a mass brand, or how do you define their brand journey? Is that what you said? Is that what the question was?
How do you maintain the positioning of it?
Positioning, yeah.
Decide the positioning.
It depends. It's a very relative question. Like, how do you define? So I'll give you examples from PepsiCo. Okay, PepsiCo, when I joined, I remember PepsiCo is, well, high sugar, high junk, everything that you can think of which is not healthy was the PepsiCo portfolio. Whether it's a Pepsi or a Mountain Dew or a Mirinda, whatever. So I had 22 brands that I was working on, and what we also realized was that, and again, just to give you a Pepsi example, Pepsi had been doing every captain of the country, every skipper since 1983, since the time we won the World Cup, would be in a Pepsi commercial. Every Bollywood star You know, if it's Shah Rukh new is Hrithik Roshan. Now Hrithik Roshan has taken away the thing from Shah Rukh, so he's the new guy. Then Shahid Kapoor, John Abraham. Think of Pepsi. Pepsi was the Lux of you know, this space, the cold drink space, and everybody aspired to be there. What we realized was that we had glamorized the product so much that we had lost touch with our own product. We had forgotten to romance our own product. And I think that's something that happens all the time with people, that, you know, you make it so large, you make it so big, that what we realized was, if I'm a consumer and I am spending 5 minutes with a bottle of Pepsi, at least drinking, whether it's a can or a bottle, I can use that time to connect with the consumer, right? And we weren't doing that. Again, who were our consumers? Our consumers were, you know, 18 to whatever, 25, 35, the core TG, if I were to call it. So if you think of Mirinda was this pagalpanti zaruri hai. We were only doing that. It's an orange funky drink. What do you do with it? But, you know, when you start thinking of brands and you start thinking of purpose behind the brands, which is what, if my audience is looking for, there are enough and more studies that, you know, 60 to 70% of the millennials want to buy a product where the product is serving the society or has a purpose behind it. So, you know, then one of the things that we moved consciously was, okay, we will move into everything with a purpose, and not just as a marketing gimmick, but as a philosophy. So Mirinda became all about, who's my consumer? My consumer is a teenager, 14 to 18. What is the biggest challenge that they face? The challenge was exam pressure. We were the first company to start talking about exam pressure, because that's what's connecting me. Otherwise, I was like this, Mirinda was this peripheral thing in my life. मैं कोई भी drink उठा सकता था. But the moment I started connecting with the consumer and I said, that consumer is facing parental pressure, exam, IIT mein jana hai, ya, you know, all of us face that when we were growing up. But when we started talking to the consumer, because you're bringing their issues, you know, the whole campaign, you guys should look it up. It was called Release the Pressure, where we use the brand to use the product also, defined a purpose for a brand also, and, you know, defined it for the consumer also. So you know, I think somewhere when you start picking up positioning, you have to understand the various, you know, verticals and horizontals, the X and the Y and the Z axis to it. And that's what you need to start defining. What is my X? What is my Y? What am I serving? If I take, say, again, we moved away from celebrities. Completely moved away from celebrities. Like, you know, if I'm talking about a health product, a Quaker, I didn't need a Ranveer Singh to talk about Quaker, because my consumer who's talking about Quaker wants a source of authority to tell him or her कि Quaker खाने से क्या होगा. If a Ranveer Singh tells him, I don't care. You know, so, you know, again, there were some steps that we took. So Quaker had Vikas Khanna, who's a Michelin star chef. He became our nutrition ambassador. He was talking about why Quaker, you know. So I think defining somewhere, you know, when you're talking about positioning, I think there are various elements, I would say, like I said, you know, the X-axis and the Y-axis. X is the need, Y is the consumer, Z is what are you trying to fulfill, you know. So I think that's where those three things come together to define the positioning. And that's positioning, honestly, is again very, very evolving. It's very evolving. Sometimes you want to think that this is the positioning that I want to go for, and then you realize it's not connecting with the consumers. And we've had lots of those. I mean, I've had lots of those in my various stints, like, you know, oh, we went out with this, because you also fall in love with your own idea. Again, guys, that's another thing, you know, when you have an idea, agar chal raha hai to chal raha hai, nahi chal raha hai na to come back. Don't fall in love. Don't fall in love with the idea, because this is my idea, therefore I have to make it happen. So I think positioning that's how positioning it's a very evolving thing, honestly. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. Because I think, again, this is another part of it, like, which is a little more technical, and not maybe a lot of people present here today would have been aware of it. But I think it's also important because we have all seen these advertisements. We have all been through the JE journey. Like you just mentioned, Release the Pressure campaign, right? Because we didn't realize it when it shifted from Ranveer Singh to or Shah Rukh Khan to JE. But when it reached JE, we remember as friends after coaching classes, we used to go and buy a Pepsi can and maybe share it amongst ourselves.
And if you remember, we started having the emoticons on the Pepsi. We were the first ones to talk about emojis on a can. Because we moved away from Pepsi has gone back to getting a Salman Khan because it's become a franchise brand now. But so there was a time, and I think again a lot of these things are also driven from the company philosophy. So we wanted to drive performance with purpose as a concept. So as an organization, that's what we zeroed in on. So everything then therefore has to rally around that.
Absolutely, ma'am. Definitely. Mr. Dedawal, sir, I have the next question for you because we all know that you have been a very active person on YouTube, but at the same time, you're also an educator for one of the biggest online platforms. So, like, how do you think that these two has helped you identify your niche? Both, like, your personal.
On the second platform, I've not been teaching from the last 3 months. बट इनिशियली उसे ज्वाइन इसलिए किया गया था क्योंकि मैं एक कॉलेज ग्रेजुएट था और कहीं से एक्सपीरियंस लेना है एंड क्योंकि अब ऑफलाइन जाके नहीं ले सकते उस चीज़ को क्योंकि ऑफलाइन आप फुल टाइम वो चीज़ कर रहे होते हो और ऑफलाइन में उतने बच्चे आप पढ़ा भी नहीं सकते। तो ऑनलाइन में मेरे को था कि हाँ आगे ये चीज़ जा रही होगी। इनफैक्ट नीश वाला जो आपने पहला क्वेश्चन पूछा मैं उस पर कुछ पॉइंट्स मैंने बना रखे थे वो भी मैं ऐड ऑन करूँ। हाँ, पहले ऐसे बोला जाता था कि आपका एक नीश के अंदर बहुत अच्छी डेप्थ होनी चाहिए विद टाइम 2, 3, 4, 5 साल के साथ आपकी उसमें डेप्थ हो रही होती है, रीच भी बढ़ रही होती है। बट अब चीज़ें इतनी ज़्यादा डायनामिक हो गई हैं, मतलब आपको वही है इफ़ यू आर लीडिंग अपने मार्केट में आप लीड कर रहे हो, तब तो आपको ये ट्रेंड बनाने पड़ेंगे। मतलब आप किसी को देख नहीं सकते और आपको साथ-साथ में अपने आप को डाइवर्सिफ़ाई भी करते रहना पड़ेगा। जैसे कि अगर मैं सिर्फ़ यहाँ पे क्योंकि बच्चे कंटेंट साइड ही जानते हैं मेरा, तो कंटेंट में भी अगर हम देखेंगे तो 2019 तक आई गेस या 18 एंड तक सिर्फ एक चैनल था। अब हमने 6 चैनल कर दिए। मतलब वन इज़ अ पॉडकास्ट चैनल, एक प्रॉपर कोडिंग के लिए हमने निकाल दिया, वन इज़ ओनली फॉर जेईई, एक व्लॉग चैनल हमने कर दिया है। अभी एक और मतलब आज ही हम बात कर रहे थे कि लेट्स स्टार्ट वन मोर चैनल, मतलब हमारे दिमाग में 3 चैनल और हैं, पर एक और चैनल हम शुरू करें। तो आज मैंने सुबह ही इंस्टाग्राम पे डाला था कि बच्चों से पूछा था कि आप क्या चाहते हो हम और क्या करें? तो हम सारी फ़ील्ड्स एक साथ एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हैं। अब मोर और लेस आप देखोगे तो हाँ, सब के सब सॉर्ट ऑफ एजुकेशन से जुड़े हैं, तो पर प्रॉपर एक प्योर नीश भी नहीं है कि हमने सिर्फ़ 12th का बच्चा पकड़ लिया या हमने सिर्फ़ जेईई एस्पिरेंट पकड़ लिया। एम ये है कि 6th क्लास से लेके आपके पूरे आगे तक और उसके बाद पूरी जो सॉफ्ट स्किल्स हैं, उनको भी कवर किया जाए। क्योंकि एट द एंड अगर स्किल्स सिखा दिया आपने 12वीं क्लास के बच्चे को भी, तो भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें वो कर सकता है। मतलब आज के दिन स्किल्स भी नहीं चाहिए। मतलब एक बच्चे ने 12th कर रखी है, 10th कर रखी है, ठीक है? हमारे वीडियो एडिटिंग टीम में एक व्यक्ति है जिसने सिर्फ 10th कर रखी है, पर बहुत अच्छी वीडियो एडिटिंग करता है। आप घर बैठे-बैठे 3 से 4 महीने एनिमेशन सीख सकते हैं, आप फ्रीलांसिंग कर सकते हैं। तो ये सारी चीज़ें आज के दिन अवेलेबल हैं। मतलब एक आपको शायद लग सकता है कि यार एक 20, 25, 30 हज़ार की जॉब शायद कम है, पर यही सेम जॉब प्राप्त करने के लिए जब आप सरकारी रूट से जाते हो या कॉलेज रूट से जाते हो, तो आपको 4 से 5 से 6 साल तक लगाने पड़ते हैं। तब जाके आपको पता चला वो मिल रहा है और अब बच्चे वही चीज़ 12th के बाद फ्रीलांसिंग में चीज़ें। तो मैं सॉफ्ट स्किल्स की तरफ डालना चाहता हूँ और उससे भी ज़्यादा मैं सोलोप्रेन्योरशिप और एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की तरफ पुश करना चाहता हूँ क्योंकि वहाँ पे सिर्फ आप अपने आप को एम्पावर नहीं कर रहे हो, तो एक तो आप एक पेन दूर करते हो, साथ में आपकी टीम में आप जो खुद पहले सोच रहे थे कि यार सरकार शायद मुझे एक जॉब दे दे, अब शायद आप 5 लोगों को और जॉब दे रहे हो।
Yeah.
और वैल्यू एडिशन अगर आप मैं जैसे कि आप किसी भी सबसे बड़ा चैनल भी अगर इंडिया का देखेंगे तो वो 100 मिलियन का है, वो भी म्यूज़िक आपका जो टी सीरीज़ वगैरह ये चल रहे हैं। मतलब वो भी हमारी पूरी पॉपुलेशन को कवर नहीं करता है। मुझे तो यूँ लगता है कि बस ऊपर के कुछ 10-15 करोड़ लोग हैं जो कि शायद अभी इंटरनेट को ढंग से यूटिलाइज़ कर रहे हैं और वही हर ब्रांड का मार्केट जो एंड कंज्यूमर है। बचा हुआ जो 80-90% इंडियन है उसको तो अभी ढंग से रीच आउट भी नहीं किया गया है। मतलब ब्रांड्स पहले ही रेडी हो गई हैं, वो मार्केट शायद 10-15 साल बाद और पूरा अच्छे से आ रहा होगा। मतलब देयर इज़ अ रीज़न कि सबसे बड़ा इंडिविजुअल क्रिएटर भी 20 मिलियन 25 मिलियन क्रॉस 2 करोड़ होता है 20 मिलियन। पॉपुलेशन 150 करोड़ होने जा रही है। हम रीच नहीं कर पा रहे हैं उस चीज़ को। तो अ, मैं क्वेश्चन भूल गया, वही अभिनव वाली बात, सारी चीज़ बात करते-करते क्वेश्चन क्या था? तो
ऐसा आइडेंटिफाइंग योर निश, मतलब इसमें ऐसा मुझे आपसे पर्सनली क्वेश्चन पूछना है, बिकॉज़ ये मैंने
हाँ।
देखा जब हम कॉलेज में आए थे ना, विद द होल जीई प्रोसेस बिहाइंड, एंड स्टिल ट्रॉमेटाइज्ड विद इट, बिकॉज़ अब क्लियर नहीं हुआ, आईआईटी नहीं पहुँचे तो वीआईटी पहुँच गए, कुछ लोग वीआईटी नहीं पहुँचे तो कहीं और पहुँच गए। तो क्वेश्चन ये है कि सर, ये आप बोल रहे हो कि आप सब बोल रहे हो कि स्किल्स इम्पोर्टेंट है, बट अभी भी हमें एज स्टूडेंट्स वी फील कि पता नहीं कॉलेज के लिए कहीं कोई पूछ ना ले तुम कौन से कॉलेज से हो, वो कॉलेज वाला टैग कहीं कोई, मतलब दे माइट आस्क अस एंड वी माइट जस्ट फील एम्बैरेस्ड। कैसे?
No.
देखो, इसमें
No.
आपकी पहली कंपनी आएगी, जैसे आपको आपके स्कूल के बारे में कोई नहीं पूछता ना, कौन से स्कूल से थे, किसी ने नहीं पूछा। कॉलेज के बाद
Correct.
आपकी पहली ब्रांड हो जाएगी, फिर आपको उस ब्रांड के
हाँ,
नाम से जाना
बिल्कुल
जाएगा। तो आप
बिल्कुल
स्किल्स एक्वायर करके एक अच्छी ब्रांड के अंदर घुसें, राइट? मतलब हर व्यक्ति यार, हम 24 कैरेट का सोना कहाँ से बने यार, कहीं तो हमारे भी पीतल होगा, मतलब आप हर डोमेन में कैसे चीज़ को सिक्योर करेंगे? मतलब कोई आदमी 20 साल की उम्र में उठा है तो क्या आप उससे कोसते रहें कि यार शुरुआत में तो पढ़ाई नहीं करी तुमने, तुम तो बड़े गंदे आदमी हो। मतलब किसी ने 17-18 साल की उम्र में आईआईटी क्लियर कर दिया, उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि यार बाद में भी उसे मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, अदरवाइज आईआईटी में भी ऐसे बहुत बच्चे हैं जिनकी प्लेसमेंट नहीं लग पाती है।
बिल्कुल आई 100% एग्री, बिकॉज ये कॉलेज का जो टैग है, ये आई थिंक to answer that question, and this might sound like a bit of gyan to everyone, but there is no substitute for hard work. Trust me, guys, there is no substitute for hard work. When you, ye sabko lagta hai, and it's hard. Honestly, it's hard to कि आपने, when you start your job and if you're not from a great college, don't carry that weight on your shoulders. Okay, try and get into a good brand. Try and do good work, because it's like passport pe stamp lagni. That's what happens. That's your first job. It's like you got the America visa, laga hai ki nahi? Phir uske baad China ka visa laga hai ki nahi? It's like that. So build your passport, build your career like that. But what happens, and I'll tell you, and I think some of us also said कि आपने IIT से pass किया होगा, and I have seen that so many times. There are people who have passed out from the best of colleges, IMA, like Nokia में, or even PepsiCo में, we used to hire only A, B, C, and XLRI. And I remember so many students would, because we had this global graduate program where the graduates would do a 2-month stint in every department. So you could spot from a mile कि ये बंदा आज अगर IMA से है या B से है या C से है, वो कहाँ जाएगा और दूसरा कहाँ जाएगा. It's all about, honestly, it's all about the attitude. And I have seen so many people, like from the best of colleges. And if you don't have the right attitude to take you forward, if you're always thinking, oh, I'm from IMB and I'm not going to do this, and I've had like lots of those incidents, like I had someone from IMB once join our team for a 2-month stint, and she was coming from sales, and she joined our team for 2 months. So pehle din hi hamara our global CEO was coming, and I was in Bombay, and my team was working like crazy because we had a CEO visit happening in the next 3 to 4 days. And she realized, she was asked to run around, ab fax lao, ye karo. When you're growing up, don't have that thing ki mujhse kya kaam kara rahe hain. Just go learn. Okay, so she had this huge thing that, oh, you're making me do get a fax. You're asking me to draft a letter. I'm from IMB. So then she calls me by the end of the day and says, I think I have, I'm not sure if I want to do my stint here in this team because, I think I was better off in sales. And I said, so then I remember the conversation with her, and I said, well, you don't decide when you are going to do your 2 months, but let me come back to Delhi and we'll talk. And so, and now when I think of that girl, she's not doing anything. I mean, she's not doing anything great. And then there was another guy who next year came from another very prestigious college, but he had huge language issues. Okay, लेकिन उसमें attitude इतना सही था, इतना जबरदस्त था. That guy is on his second startup. He has sold his first company to I can't name at the moment, but it's the attitude that matters. So, and the attitude to work hard, the attitude to learning. It's, these might sound at the moment कि यार क्या learning तो हम सभी learn करते रहते हैं.
Cliche.
Yeah, learning, hard work. You know, there is no substitute for these things. And your attitude. You know, otherwise, if you don't have the right attitude, you know, that's that saying, na? It's like a flat tire. You kahin nahi jaoge. So get that.
एकदम सही कहा पूनम मैम ने, वो आके कहेंगे दिस वाज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ माय जॉब प्रोफाइल.
हाँ, बहुत सारे. This is not part of my job. And I'm like, okay, हम तो नहीं कहते थे ऐसे यार. So don't do that.
Just want to intervene for a bit, guys. I have a meeting that's just started, and I'll have to hop off. This was lovely. Thank you, ECell, VIT. Deepak and I are connected. Aman and Poonam, I'd love to get connected with you. Thank you, Damayanti. You were a beautiful host. Thank you, everyone, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abhinav.